What's going on, my creative collective? Welcome to your daily creative reading for June 29th. I don't know why I said it like that, a little sing song. So we're just going to dive right in here, okay? So I would like to invite the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Okay, so we're going to start with postcards from Spirit and see where this takes us. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives for June 29th? So do you want... Okay. Okay, so both... Oh my gosh, okay. We're starting with a bang. I'll read one at the beginning and one at the end. That works. So this one we still have to read. So that's yet to be opened, but check that out. That's lovely. And it says, you shine brightly. We'll read that at the end, okay? So this one here to open says, you are divine beauty. Of course you are, my lovelies. Of course you are. Dearest you, we have a secret to share with you. If you act as if all is well, it will be. Act as if you are brave and you will have courage. Act as if you are loved and you will be a magnet for love and experience the love of spirit. Act as if your prayers have been answered, as if you are truly in sync with good fortune. How you think is how you will see the world, interact with it, and draw conclusions from it. If you want to be the person who has the life you want, co-creating and loving what is yours, you need to start acting as if that were truth. Don't worry about the conditions in your life that seem empty or cavernous, chaotic or barren. These are temporary and don't even count. Defy them and act as if you're already the luckiest planet on the person. Nope. Let's try that again. The luckiest person on the planet. You will be, for you already are. That's the real secret. You are infinite potential. Loving you so much, rainbows explode in the ether. I mean, that's a lot, right? Spirit's like not joking around right now. Okay, so we're going to dive in here. Spirit, what messages do you have for my creative collective, please? Thank you so much. Feeling a little frisky today. Spirit, what messages do you have for my creative collective for June? I almost said January, for June 29th. The Emperor. Oh my gosh, it actually, the temperatures here dropped. So last night it was a whopping 7 degrees Celsius and it's June, end of June. So I'm probably just getting my months mixed up because of that. Spirit, what messages do you have for my creative collective, please? The Lovers. Ooh, Emperor, the Lovers. Page of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, 9 of Wands. Wow, look at you. The World, and then we'll do one more here. 3 of Cups. Is it? Okay, we'll leave it in reverse. Alrighty. So I feel like you're starting the day, like the day really strong. Like it's, I mean, you're in your energy and in your strength. I'm getting this sense of like inner strength here. And a lot of it, it's like, it's almost like magnetizing relationship connections to you. But I think there's also choices. So I think this is like, this is indicative of connections, but this is also indicative of choices that you're going to have to make about them. Now, the reason why I say this is because the 3 of Cups has shown up in reverse as your outcome energy. But then simultaneously, you also have the 3 of Pentacles energy in here. So I think that there's a lot that you're kind of dealing with here. It's sort of in terms of choices that you have to make. So the Emperor's here. We have the Lovers. Yeah. So this is also Aries and Gemini energy. And then I also see some Saturn energy with the World here. A lot of minor arcana with a smattering of major arcana, which tells me that there's a lot of everyday ways that these themes are showing up. So the big themes based on major arcanas alone would be there's a sense of you stepping into your power and taking and owning who you are. And if not owning who you are, then just standing in your power and owning that. And I feel like that could be the choice that kind of brings in a whole bunch of different options for you and ways of seeing yourself in the world and ways of seeing yourself as the beauty that you would project outwards, right? That you would see others through. This is also, it's almost like I'm getting with the way this is showing up is like resisting pedestals and just the ways that you might have elevated people before and made like thought like I am made of something different, you know. But the one thing that I always, you know, having some of the experiences that I have, getting to meet some of the folks that I did through activism and different work, and then political stuff that I've done too, I came to understand that it's a lot of the time, it's people who just decide where they're going to put their energy, right? One of the most inspiring things about two of my friends that ran for office, local office, and got in was just the way that they wanted to make a difference in their community, right? They were change makers from the jump, but then they made the shift into politics because it was something that was important to them. And that's so inspiring because there's not some magic thing that separates. There are resources that some people have that others don't, sure, but there's also a way that there's nothing pedestal about that, right? They just aligned their energy to where they wanted to go and directed it in a really, in a powerful way, right? In a very powerful way. So it's almost like stepping into, I'm getting this like change maker, this game changer energy, and not in terms of like a 5 of swords, like win at all costs kind of thing, but just like wanting to create change. And I feel like the Emperor is fantastic energy to be in for that. And I feel too that the Lovers here it's all about decisions, but it's also, I feel like it's almost this way that it's like your connections are really important to you right now, and not in some networking sense, but it's like you're making a difference in the lives of people around you, maybe more than you realize or more than you think. I was talking to someone about this the other day, and just the ways that we, and even I was talking to my aunt about this, but just the way that we have an impact on others around us just by being ourselves, right? I was talking to my aunt about how just her being herself pulls something from one of my other aunts who's introverted, and just the way that their energies play together, it's like they change one another's experience fundamentally because of how they come together with this sense of themselves. It's this beautiful, it's almost like a beautiful song that their energy sings together, right? So it's thinking about those energies too, and how you do that for others, but you can't see yourself as separate. This is also like a bit of a oneness consciousness too, right? Because when you operate from a place of pedestals, or you operate from a place of this person is so much better than this, or this person has so much more than me, or blah, 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 like you separate yourself from them fundamentally. And it's not just about being able to connect with people in that sense, but there's a way that it causes harm, because it means that people can't really get close to you. It's like a defense mechanism that pushes people away, right? It's a defense mechanism that interrupts your ability to really see people and meet them where they are, right? Because then you'll end up deflecting or running away or getting defensive when intimacy is afoot or comes near, because this connection, it's like it happens authentically, right? This is also communication. So it's almost like this energetic communication that's taking place. But I feel like it's because you're standing in this Emperor energy, right? Sometimes it can be scary to own that, to own your sense of self, to own your kind of like 10 feet of space, your boundaries. All of that energy can be nerve-wracking if you're not used to it. But that's one of the gifts that Aries gives us, right? That's one of the gifts of that sign. There's so much that they teach us all, right? And I think this 10 of Wands is really about you. This is interesting because this can also become a tower if it kind of goes unchecked. What I like about this energy is that it is a release. So you're releasing energy that you've been holding on to that doesn't make sense. And the reason why I feel like it's connected to this sort of seeing people as separate on the basis of what they have that you feel you don't, because that's like the most basic foundational pedestal that there is, right? This person has this thing or this resource or this experience or this whatever. And then that is the basis by which you justify separation, by which you justify difference, by which you justify sometimes defense. Like we get defensive because we feel like they must be X, Y, and Z, or that, experience must be whatever because of the differences that we perceive. So it's hard for us to connect. So this, I think, could become a tower if it goes unchecked, because if you release it without understanding the ways that you've made people bigger than others, if you release it without understanding this sort of disproportion happening here in terms of emotions, or it's like this disproportionate response. So things are smaller, then it's like you're making mountains out of molehills a little bit, and that's like this releasing energy. There's so much frustration that we can cause ourselves when we get into that energy, because we are operating from a place of lack at a fundamental basis, right? Instead of asking questions of how can I do this or how can that happen, we end up asking questions that reduce us because we fundamentally don't see ourselves correctly, right? This is what A Course in Miracles talks about in terms of the error of perception. That's sin, right? That's what they define sin as, because it separates you from the understanding that you are spirit, manifest. And just because somebody has something in their journey that you are, that your past past has not brought to you right now, it doesn't mean you won't have it. It doesn't mean that there's anything fundamentally different about that thing or person or experience's energy. It's just where you are. But when you start to see yourself in that, it shifts your energy profoundly. And I feel like the protagonist position is the Three of Pentacles. So this could be that there's like this foundation energy. You're building a foundation for yourself on the one hand. On the other hand, what you're also doing is helping to sort of, people are going to be really powerful and important in terms of overcoming things, in terms of like the path that you're on, in terms of building things. This is also collaborative energy. So it's not just about getting people's feedback, but this, to me, this speaks to the ways that we can ask good questions of other people to understand, those who are willing to share the under the hood process, right? Lift up the hood and see what's going on underneath. It's like we can see how they did it. And a lot of people are actually really flattered when other people ask. A lot of the time, community comes together because we ask questions, not trying to get, but we ask questions because it's flattering. I've had people ask me this of, nonprofit work. And even when I was in grad school, they were asking questions to figure out what school they wanted to go to. And it was actually a different exchange than I had originally perceived, because when you see it from a place of separation, then what you see is the lack in it as opposed to the collaboration, right? You don't see the benefit to things coming together, in ways that are really helpful for everybody, right? Not just one or two people, but like everybody. And I think this Six of Wands is showing up in the antagonist position here in your like hero's journey spread, because I feel like this is really about, it's almost like this is, I feel like there's a way that you're standing out that you may not feel comfortable with. Just the reason why I say that is because of the comparison energy coming up here and the Emperor energy showing up here, as well as the Three of Cups showing up in reverse. So there could be ways of working with people that you've kind of primarily focused on the physical with. Like it felt more comfortable to be goal oriented, right? My friend jokes that she said that for many years, and even now, she said she knows that, the best way to entice me to do something is to make it goal oriented, which is hilarious, but she respects the Sag in my chart. But it's just like there's, making a bigger goal of something and not creating obstacles, but looking for the challenge in something that feels insurmountable. Because when you look for the challenge, then you're implying by nature and energy of what you're looking at, right? The very basis of the energetic discourse that you're engaging in silently, you are implying the answer. You are implying something. Christina Lopes talked about this in one of her recent videos too. It was the ask a question thing about joy. Sorry, I'm doing this because I'm pensive. You can't see it, but I have a super eyebrow ledge. I look like Sam the Eagle. But that it's like the nature of the question is indicative of the energy of how you're going to receive the answer as well. So there's something about that in here and working with the energy to really free yourself. But the Six of Wands is success. And I feel like there's maybe a way that your definition of success is shifting and changing in terms of seeing yourself, this is like positive projection I'm getting. Seeing yourself positively in the world, not as opposed to negatively. There's no opposition energy here per se, but this is really seeing yourself in a way that reflects who you actually are, as opposed to the things that you might have been told about yourself, that which necessitates the release of these 10 of Wands. And I feel a bit like the Three of Pentacles is showing up here because there's work that you're doing. There's like, this could also be something that you have to do. Like this could be purpose on your path, work that you need to do that relies on other people. And it could be, that's interesting. Thank you so much, Spirit. That's like, I'm just getting that maybe what's happening is you're seeing that there's work that you have to do on the path, and it's not about needing other people for your own end, but what's compelling you to see things differently is that there's something that you need to do. This could be mission related or path related, purpose, that kind of idea. The challenge though is this Knight of Pentacles, which is very interesting to me. And my initial my initial reaction is patience will be required. You might need patience with yourself. You might need patience with divine timing because the world is here. it might be that you need patience with, I'm almost getting this as like pre-emperor energy, right? Pre-emperor energy, I'm seeing the two. Nine of Pentacles is pre-empress energy, but then the Nine of Wands I perceive to be Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is pre-emperor energy, because of the way that we just get into this place of like, what is it that you fight for and stand for, right? The Emperor doesn't show up to every fight that they're invited to. The Emperor is very reserved with their energy. The Emperor respects energy flow and also understands where it needs to go for what specific tasks. So it's almost like this sort of taskmaster energy, but not in a way that's like, give me the to-do list. And I'm, like, because I've been in that place too where I feel stuck. So I'm going to add to my to-do list and make it longer just so I can cross stuff off that doesn't matter, but it feels so good, right? I do need to-do lists to do a lot of things because otherwise I'll get wrapped up in one, and that's just part of the ADHD. But beyond the task part, don't focus so much on the task part. Think about the taskmaster as prioritization. And that's quite loud here, actually, because, when I think about it relative to the ADHD, one of the things that I've had to understand about the way energy flows is the way that that can be a sort of, you can go into sensory overload if you're not sure where to prioritize your energy and what to spend time on. So important questions to ask when you're trying to implement tasks could be, what is it that what's the most important thing that needs to happen here? Number one. You could also ask, who needs to get this from me? If you're in collaboration with other people, who needs to get this particular thing first? Like, what's the most important thing to do? What's going to take the most amount of time? What's going to take the least amount of time? What's going to be the most beneficial long term? What's going to connect to the purpose on my path? Three of Pentacles, right? What's going to be the most purposeful use of my time? My cat is having a dream where I guess she's a rabbit. I know, you were dreaming. It's okay, baby girl. It's okay. Yeah, so sorry. If she's having a nightmare, I don't want her to, anyways. I feel like I'm a helicopter pet parent. It's fine. But so it's like this sort of organizing your energy in a way that's productive, and not productive of like, in a, capitalist, make yourself the product or the commodification of you. This is really just about protecting your energy by understanding this is like taking ownership, right? Taking ownership of where you put your energy. And I had to do this with my autoimmune stuff because Christina Lopes talked about it in terms of burnout, but you blow out your solar plexus. You literally, it's like you torch it. You torch it from the inside out, and it affects all these other auric layers. And it's like, because I feel like you get to a point of asking, what's the point when you put so much energy into it? In fact, I have a book called Why Bother that I read around the time. This is shortly before that was diagnosed. But, and so it's like, it's that energy of like, ugh. And like you just kind of sink into the what's the point of things. And that's indicative of that energy. But a lot of it comes from trying to do everything at the same time, but also yesterday. So your energy can't really flow because it's like this misapplication. And thank you so much, Spirit. I'm getting this vibe right now. I'm seeing it as like a misapplication of frustration, and perhaps a way that the Emperor can show up in reverse, right? Having not learned the lessons of this frustration and defensiveness that is carried. So it's like I heard it once that depression is anger turned inward at ourself instead of integrating it and allowing it to flow, right? And I've seen this so much. It's interesting. My Aries placements are so wonderfully complemented by different family, because I've seen the way that energy can function. I'm gonna do this so you don't have to watch my cat bathe herself. But it's like the energy can move in a specific way, and I've seen it in the areas in their charts, and so I've seen the way that anger can flow and function. And how it can be a way that we can slip into giving our power away, not because we're angry at specific things, but it's almost like we get angry at ourselves, and that messes with our solar plexus energy center because we're not really doing anything with it. Instead, it's like a misapplication of perspective, right? We're not seeing things clearly. And so we get frustrated at divine timing. We get frustrated at the timing of things, thinking that it's on us. So we take on more tasks and take on more tasks. And, this was what I experienced, at least. And, was grateful for the pandemic on the one hand. It was awful for so many reasons. But when I was trying to see the silver lining of it, I thought, okay, this gave me an opportunity to heal these things and to like heal it from the ground up. But for this week, what I'm seeing is this sort of shift in your energy where it's not like it's like you're seeing things more clearly. And by clearly, it's not just the details that you're seeing clearly, but you're seeing yourself really clearly here. You're seeing yourself really clearly. And I think it's like why you're rising. I'm hearing the song Rise by Callum Scott now. But it's like you're rising. And this strikes me as like Phoenix from the ash energy, because it's like you get to the other side of the valley, right? And that poem or prayer, you know, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. I often say that prayer when I walk through aisles that are not produce at the grocery store. No, I'm kidding. But it's like, it's that sort of like you walked through the valley and you made it to the other side. And it's this sense of like rising now. And I think that maybe just having patience with where you're at and patience with the process will be helpful, because this is showing up as the challenge, the Knight of Pentacles. It is forward movement. It is forward movement for sure. But it's also respecting the slow exploratory nature of it, the slow curiosity that was necessary to bring you to this point in time. Because this is a Saturn lesson, possibly, or a carryover from a Saturn return or a Saturn lesson. And I think that there's a way that there's like the world is more available to you. I'm hearing oh my gosh. The whole world is in your hands. I'm hearing that children's song, but it's like you got the whole world in your hands right now. And not in a way that's like, with great power comes great responsibility, not like that, but it's like, it's this way that you see a world of possibilities before you, because things are starting to click, and that was the divine timing of things, because it's the perspective then, right? It's the perspective. Look at this, the difference here, right? Because you're seeing this aspect of yourself in the details, but now you're understanding. This is the comprehension of the expansive energy. And the Three of Cups in reverse tells me that there might be, this could be a way of working with others that it's not necessarily the traditional meaning, but I'm getting that there's a way that it's taking you by surprise. Like something is like taking you by surprise here emotionally, not a tower, but it's just like, oh, like you didn't realize, or you don't realize that you like something as much as you do, like that it means as much to you as it does. Like there's some way of working with people that either could be now or will be, and it's like it's helping you to see, this process is helping you to see why that might have been important to you and may not have arrived yet, because it's not that it could have arrived, but your energy would be at a different frequency. You wouldn't be able to hear it. You wouldn't be able to experience it. You wouldn't be able to understand why it's important to you. 2-2-2-2 on the time. So I feel like this is a bit of a new way of doing things for you. So we're going to clarify this energy. It's very beautiful energy for the day/week. Don't you sass me. Can I have my sleeve back? I touched her tail, so she got very upset with me. I know. Well, it's on the cards. Why are you being so mean? Okay. So, so mean. She's not even mean. Okay, Spirit, what messages do you have for my creative collective for June 29th, please? Whoa. Let us away. So we have the Five of Swords. The Chariot, High Priestess, both of them. Okay, so we have the Hierophant and the Two of Pentacles. So right out of the gate, we have some moon energy with the High Priestess. Moon, interesting. No, I was thinking Cancerian. Well, yeah, the High Priestess and the moon, but I was thinking Cancerian energy here and the fourth house. Hierophant and Taurus. So I feel like it's almost like this conflict that you might have been perceiving was not really conflict. Like this is almost like you feeling like this is resistance to divine timing is how I'm perceiving it. And the resistance to divine timing I'm getting has to do with this sort of High Priestess and this idea of like the way that you've always done things. So this traditional route that you've taken before. And it's like, it's not that you're choosing between them, but I think you're realizing that you're more adaptable than you perhaps originally perceived. The interesting thing is that this is the Page of Pentacles, but it reminds me of this Two of Pentacles in its earliest form, right? In an energetic form that is less matured than the Page of Pentacles. So it's like, it's almost like you went from this energy of and this could just be a signifier or something that's coming up now, but it's like you went from this energy of recognition to like embodiment, like recognition to embodiment. And energetically speaking, I think that that is, I think that there's power in that for you. I think that there's power because maybe you were confusing tradition as the path, and it's like your intuition is paving a more fruitful path for you with all these pomegranates. It's so delicious. But this is also a key to knowledge. So it's not, I think it's about integrating these two forms of knowing, these two forms of knowledge that you had, right? It's integrating them both because they both have immense value for you. They both have a lot of value. And I think that this is a big, it's a big shift in integrated energy, because I think that it's the coming together of two separate energies, right? Two separate energies. And there was a reader that I watched recently. I was like, that is freaking brilliant. I think it might have been Nicholas Ashbaugh, but talking about how there's no reins on this one. There's no reins on this card. So it's like it's just integrating it, and it's a responsive energy, which is very true of Cups energy. It's very responsive energy to the conditions of your internal world. So it's almost like you're going from this recognition of conflict, instead of recognizing the conflict of things, you're recognizing the intuition, the forward movement and momentum, you know, the wisdom that you gained along the way and that you have within you to impart to others, right? This is also, and you know, the Hermit is more wisdom, but I feel like this is like the integration of 3D and 5D wisdom together on your path. And I feel like this Two of Pentacles energy, this Two of Pentacles energy is really lovely because it's like you're able to see now. It's almost seeing your journey and seeing the different investments that you made along the way and how they're coming to fruition in the form of a more integrated. Wow, thank you so much, Spirit. Brilliant. Okay, so I just had this image of the High Priestess and the Hierophant being these two types of wisdom that you're integrating that are helping you to move forward. Brilliant. Oh my gosh, with the two pillars and the two, yeah, it just, I wanted to share because I got all geeked out. Thank you so much, Spirit. That was beautiful. So it's like intuition and spiritual wisdom, traditional spiritual wisdom you're bringing in. And I think it's like this key that helps you to see how you've invested your energy and where you want it to go now, which is a much more active way of integrating the energy. So we have the Emperor, Knight of Pentacles, and Nine of Wands. So we also have the Hanged Man. This is beautiful. A lot of perspective cards here. A lot of perspective cards and perspective shift cards, right? Page of Pentacles doesn't typically mean this perspective taking, but it's the way that I'm reading the energy because it's also an initiation, and it's like a learning process that you're going through, right? A learning process that grounds your energy in something that's important to you or frees up that energy so you can do that. So we have the Hanged Man, which is Piscean and Neptune energy. Could be connected to the Neptune retrograde on the 28th, or that started or began to take place on June 28th. So we have the Hanged Man, the Queen of Cups. We also have the King of Cups, counterparts, and the Star. Wow, and the Fool. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is great energy. It's almost like there was a way that you were just like, again, like in this task energy, like this taskmaster energy, and then just taking the bigger picture or the bigger take, right? Again, big picture perspective that's opening up your connections because the Lover's card is here, not the Lover card, Lovers. So it's like it's allowing you to take a fresh perspective, not on like the pentacularity of what's valuable to us. The pentacularity, what am I, like the dude of tarot? Like pentacularity, man. Anyway, I don't even know. I'm seeing the turtles from Finding Nemo, and they're like all gathered together for the story. So it's, like I said many times before, my guides are Pixar characters exclusively. But it's this bigger picture that you're able to see, and it's almost like a reevaluation, right? You might have felt stuck, but I feel like this is where you may feel stuck. This was actually something that had more purpose than you might have thought, to realign your energy and to give it a bit of a shift. And I see that this is like, it's almost like this is, you're more responsive to things. The Queen of Cups is emotionally responsive. It's also emotional receptivity, but there's like a way that it responds to the environment around it. And I feel like this is what you're starting to do now, because you're slowing down long enough to perceive more about the environment and your true nature, right? So it's almost like you went through this maturation process from this Nine of Wands, pre-Emperor energy, slow process with the Knight of Pentacles, frustrating at times, yes, but then you stepped into this Emperor energy. And this is kind of the story of how that happened, right? Because the kings are all integrated into the Emperor, right? So that has the King of Cups in it as well. But I feel like there's this energy of responding to yourself. There's an emotional availability where you may have been bogged down by tasks before, but now you're able to step into the energy in a way that is more, it's more aligned with your path. How do I say this, Spirit? I can feel the energy, but it's like you're more emotionally available to, okay, I'll just say it. So what's coming to mind is this cross stitch that I've seen that I've been begging my friend to make me because she cross stitches, but it's a Shakespearean turn of phrase, and it says, "Behold the field where I grow my fucks, lay thine eyes upon it, and you will find that it is barren." And I feel like because you're saying that more, so that's what I had and why I was like, how do I speak around this? But there you go. I feel like that sort of jar of craps that you give about things is emptier because there's less fire required to respond to situations, and there's more emotional availability because you're prioritizing what's most important. And you can't really do that if you're disconnected from your heart, right? You can't really do that because then it's like you're operating within the heart space as opposed to prioritizing from ego, because prioritizing from ego, it's like you want specific things to happen in specific ways because it achieves specific outcomes where there's more room for the universe to work her magic, right? And I feel like that's really the story here of this beautiful healing, and then the Fool, the star, and then Fool. So it's this absolutely, like, it just feels so good. Like, it's like that rush of joy, right? That first full day of sun after, a long winter or whatever, where it's like warmth, right? It's just this beautiful warmth. And you might have felt a bit like you had to take a leap of faith on yourself and on this, but it's almost like it's not even like there was a payoff. It's just like you needed some kind of infusion of fresh energy. And I think that you realize that the fresh energy is coming from a more healed perspective. Like that perspective, that shift in perspective is the leap. It is the leap, right? Oh, one of them went in and then backwards. So we have the Six of Pentacles, clarifying the Lover's card, and the Ten of Wands. What else do we have here? Whoops, let me just fix that. Okay, Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives? I got caught on the microphone there. For June 29th, please. The World, not surprising. A lot of these messages repeat when they tell the story of this energy up here in the more fulsome version below. Yeah, it's like the balanced give and take here, right? Like coming into balance with these two, the High Priestess and the Hierophant energy coming together with the Chariot, and how I perceive that energy intuitively. It's like this balance that really, it's like balance needed to be restored, but the balance, the hard work, and for some reason it was hard work. It was almost like the challenge here was understanding how to balance the energy on the one hand, but how to prioritize well, how to prioritize where you wanted your energy to go based on what was most important to you. Because when we fill when we have big to-do lists, it's difficult for us to understand what's most important, right? In that, I've talked about this before, but there was like leadership, there was like a goal setting thing that I made for myself when I was in corporate, and then the, director of this like enterprise part of the company ended up using it because she really liked it and she used it for her team. But one of the things that I focused on was you can really only do 3 big goals per year. And it took me a long time to understand that when you stretch yourself so thin with like 20 things, it is really harmful to your energy. And there are ways that I've tried to operate outside of this. But it's like when you can really only do 3 things, it reestablishes a sense of balance and how much discipline you can apply to something, right? Because self-discipline, it's like the difference between self-discipline and self-harm, right? Self-discipline and self-harm, 3-3-3-3 on the time. So it's, in a way, we're like looking at this difference between how balance can sort of reverse itself, and not reverse itself, but like the energy of it can show up in the reverse, because it's about taking care of yourself, but also understanding how much you can take care of in a reasonable amount of time, right? We have the Page of Cups as well. I feel like this is like, it's a bit of a learning process. It's a bit of a learning process I'm getting, because anytime I see this card, I think about like small fish in a big pond, right? Maybe not feeling outside your element necessarily, but I think in a way it's like feeling a little bit like what you have to offer may not be that much, because you feel maybe more of a like a student at it, but what you have to offer with this energy is still very valuable. So don't doubt that or question it, my darlings. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like this long-term investment. And I think that you may see more page energy from yourself when what you need to remember is the fact that you're in the Eight of Pentacles, which is a very invested energy. That's like a crafts person. That's like the skill and craft of something. So it's almost like you're crafting this energy, this energetic craftsmanship or craftspersonship with the heart center. That's actually really lovely. But I feel like it's a way that you're seeing yourself. And because you're shifting the way that you see yourself with the Aries energy here and that Page of Pentacles, it's like you can invest so much more in the relationships, lovers, that mean the most to you because you're back in balance here. So we have the Two of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the Eight of Cups, the Two of Cups, and the Four of Cups. Ooh, and the Ace of Cups. Wow, and the Ace of Swords and the Lovers. Dang. And Knight of Pentacles was on the bottom. So more of the same energy showing up here. Very similar to yesterday in terms of new, like new. Everything's new. No, but I feel a bit like there's clarity here. This was talking about people on your path. And then unsurprisingly, we get the Queen of Swords, a whole lot of clarity. And I feel like this is not overanalyzing the next steps that you take. And this is people on your path, right? This is people on your path showing up in the minor arcana further, right? We have the Pentacles. Now this is the heart energy. It's like we get that bit of mental clarity, and that gives us a lot of clarity, not only on what's on the path, but who we want on it with us. And I feel like this is the intentional decision, because the swords are, the court swords are intentionality, right? There's a specific intentionality there. This Four of Swords, oh my gosh. Well, maybe you are getting a bit of a rest, like you're giving yourself a rest from this way of thinking. But I do feel like you might feel a little bit of boredom, but then keep in mind that the things that might have excited you once, there's like intensity versus intimacy. I've said this before, and it's like, you can confuse intensity with intimacy. And I think that it's like a realignment, not only of the value here with the Three of Pentacles, but the Two of Pentacles showed up here too, which is, it's like, or sorry, Page of Pentacles. It's I think that oh my gosh, Spirit, can you, thank you. I just saw like an envelope, a car, and like messages delivered. And then I heard the song Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours. So a lot of energy just tried to come in at once. But it's like, now I'm hearing Wildflowers by Tom Petty. I don't what? Okay. Thank you so much, Spirit. I needed the energy to clear, because it's like, it's not like there were things misfiring, but I feel like I'm picking up on energy that is relevant, but I need to get this particular message out so that I can move on to how that all is relevant here. There might be some boredom because you had confused intensity and intimacy before, but I feel like this is a clarification of energy. The reason why I say that about the cups is because the Ace of Cups is here, which is like the cup that you're meant for, right? This might be the one that you were hoping for, and these are the ones that you have. Like, you do have an element of abundance around right now, but this is also a bit of stuck energy because you're waiting for that one cup, and then it arrives, I think, and there's a degree of truth that you're beginning to understand about your connections and the depth of them, right? Ace of Swords and the Lovers again. So there's a depth of connection here that you're seeing quite clearly, and it's like, it's not freestanding. It's not like a freestanding structure, nor is it like row houses that you see. I think they're called row houses, but yeah, they were in a dream. But it's like the row houses. It's like there's like a way that how do I word this? Sometimes freestanding structures can seem really intimidating or more important or useful, but the community that you might have been looking for, the connection that you might have been looking for is in that idea of connectedness and like a coming together, right? The more impressive things, the more impressive features of things don't necessarily indicate what you were looking for, what you might have taken to be your truth, right? Connected to your heart. The heart's truth, like the heart wants what the heart wants. And I think that now I'm hearing Wildflowers again. I'm not a big Tom Petty fan, but that came on my Spotify shuffle the other day, and I was like, oh, because there's a Joshua Radin song, R-A-D-I-N, that has that same hook to it. It's from one of his older albums. I can't remember the specific name of the song, but he used that hook in his variation of it. And he didn't do a cover of it, but he sampled. Anyways, I feel like there's a profound awareness now of relationships. And I feel like you will find that they start to progress forward if, you know, if there are no, like if you're not looking for relationships. I think this is understanding team dynamics, right? This is understanding teamwork and how that can flow differently if this is related to career. But I feel like it starts with you getting clear on the Three of Pentacles. Like, why do you want to work with people? What do you want to achieve? Like, it's not just doing things for the sake of doing things, right? It's doing things for a purpose, right? Because purpose kept coming up with that Three of Pentacles. So we have the Six of Wands and the Four of Wands. Gorgeous. The Sun, even better. Eight of Swords, Five of Cups, and the Hermit, and the Nine of Swords, and then the Ten of Pentacles. I just wanted to get some clarity here. I realize it's a lot of cards, but this is just how I read. So the Six of Wands and the Four of Wands tells me that there was sort of this like external search for stability that you were on. And I feel like instead of going on the search for stability outside of yourself, you might have found it a little bit more in your relationship. So that's why I'm seeing this like unassuming, like this unlikely place, like row houses versus freestanding structures or architecture or things like that. Like it's like this way that you got the stability, like you see where your stability comes from. And it's not from the external sources you might have thought, nor is it internal, but it's like there's a way that your happiness is coming from breaking free of patterns surrounding connections. And I think there was a lot of worry about this, right? The swords are patterns. Like this is ultimate happiness. This is fifth house energy and Leo energy. And I feel like it could be a Leo that you're connecting with. In terms of signs, in the bottom portion here, we have Cancerian energy, we have the Moon, we have Taurus, we have Neptune, Pisces, Aquarius, Uranian energy as well, more Saturn energy, Gemini showing up again. We have some Virgo here, and Leo. Ta-da! But I feel like this is patterns that you're breaking free of, that where you like looking externally, because we're looking at this here, this external facing energy up here. Let me do this so that you can see. 4141 was just on the time. This sort of external facing energy here is allowing you to, like, seeing it differently and prioritizing that differently is allowing you to move past disappointments in connections and friendships or relationships, like your ships, right? That you might have been connected with before that drew away from your energy. Like it took away from your energy, because it's almost like you filled the cups here and then it's like you spilled them, right? So it's almost like these are two different parts of this particular bend in the river, because they're both on the river. But and again, like then it's almost like you realize, like, what the heck, was it all a dream? Like this, and it throws you into this worried energy, right? Where this is the overthinking energy. This is the giving away your power. I'm getting a little bit possibly codependence here, like you're unwilling to see something, and then I mean it spills and you do, and you're like, oh no, right? So it's that energy too. A little bit of that energy at least. But then it's sort of this energetic redirect, and it's like this whole thing has made you're wiser for it now. And I feel like you know where you want the 10 of Pentacles, where you want your investment in energy to go. You know where you want that to be. You know, how it's almost like I get this as being like the, the ultimate in like all is well, right? All is well. I get that energy from here. A lot, actually. It's very, very loud, but I feel like it started with you prioritizing your energy differently and understanding how to shift your energy. So we have Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection by Mike Dooley. We're going to pull from that deck here. Be true to yourself. Yeah, more Aries. That is an Aries card if there ever was one. Right? Be true to yourself. And it's about being true to your priorities and what you need. And also how you work too. How you work. Because how you work it kind of aligns to and relates to how you like how you invest your energy and what you prioritize about that. You'll find what you seek. That fell out. A little bit of a heart energy there. If they loved you once, or no, if they once loved you, they still do. So that's, I think, a little bit of like the releasing energy here, right? If they loved you, if they once loved you, they still do. Some Saturn energy too. This could be like hard-won lessons of the heart space. That's maybe what I'm going to put this as the title, like some hard-won lessons about boundaries, about understanding how to see yourself, not just through the eyes of spirit, but through to see other people through spirit's eyes, so that you also include yourself in the equation of what they are and how you could become that too, and how you are fundamentally made of the same energy, right? So I get a lot of beautiful energy there. My cat's going to get a little chirpy because I'm touching her tail. Yeah, she does not like it. 4444 on the time. Spirit, what messages do you have for my creative collective, please? I welcome abundance, and I will pay attention to the guidance I receive. Sometimes we don't have to, the whole picture we won't have access to necessarily. We just have to be willing. We just have to be willing, because that's where spirits, like the juice lives, right? That's where all the power lives. That's where our power lives. It's just being willing. Sometimes no is the most loving response. Boundaries. This is your Emperor energy. Priorities, right? It's not about prioritizing at the expense of things. It's about prioritizing because you see yourself in the things that you are investing in. You see the value of where your energy goes. You see the value of that. And this is the big message that's coming through, apropos of a page, but also an initiate energy. And then to close this out, we're going to read the second one that fell out here. I would not forget, my darlings. So this one says, you shine brightly. So to close this out, dearest you, all your prayers are heard and mirrored back to you from the unseen realms. Holy shit. Oh my gosh. Be grateful. Praise things before they manifest, and always ask for the highest good. When you plead and beg, that will bring you only more reasons to plead and beg. Instead, offer your prayers as sacred gifts, as a testament to your faith in a higher power. Open up and let spirit move through you and comfort you. Add meditation as a way to become empty, so you will be ready to be filled with inspired epiphanies, peace, understanding, and joy. That emptying yourself so you can become filled, right? In this moment, your prayers are being answered for the highest good of both you and all life. Sometimes what you pray for is not supposed to happen for you, and your prayers will be answered in surprising ways. At this moment, we are listening intently to your prayers and want you to know that your highest good is our priority. All is well. My cat here. Nope, we're not doing that again. I just, all is well. Yeah, that, oh, okay, yeah, that's probably, okay. All is well, yeah. So, my darlings, I feel like there's a lot here. This was like another big, huge reading, but I feel like this is a time of a lot of energetic shifts, and the retrogrades can bring up big energies like this because the intention is for us to let it move, to let it shift, to let it flow differently, right? To let us flow differently as well. So, be in the flow, right? Let it flow. Don't reverse your cup. Whoa, don't reverse your cup or throw it, right? So, my darlings, that is your reading for June 29th. If this resonated, please give it a like and subscribe. It helps me to continue to grow this channel, and also to, it means the world to know that folks are watching and that it means something for you. So thank you so much. There are other ways you can connect with me on the channel, but if this is where we part, my darling daily creatives, I hope that wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, it finds you very, very well. Take care.